So last weekend I did a video where I showed what happened when I put a bunch of old bolts and screws and nails and stuff that were kind of rusty into vinegar. And here you can see that it really hasn't changed. In fact, it seems to have subsided a bit. And I just want to show you how fragile this is. First of all, I've got my dryer running, and you can just see that part shaking right there. So it's very, very soft, very fragile, I should say. Crusty but fragile. Well, it's very interesting to look at. Now I'm going to have my son carefully, he's got a glove on just in case, he's going to poke at it. Just poke at it, son. Yeah, poke, poke, poke. We've even got something interesting down in there. It's kind of a grayish color.
And the brown stuff is really, really fragile. I just touched it and just sunk.
Okay.
Sunk down.
Keep pushing down. Keep pushing down.
And this crystal looking stuff
is hard?
Is hard.
Can you get one of those crystals out, please? Use that hand.
I'll try. You can see that's a crystal right there. Hold.
How hard is it? How hard is it for you to crush it?
Oh, not that hard. Oh, it's also slippery.
Yeah, it's probably because of the acid content. Alright.
See, it's pretty hard to break.
Can you push down, please, on this whole thing? And grab a bigger piece of crystal first, though. Grab a larger crystal. Don't touch. Don't touch. We don't know how dangerous it is or anything.
Right there.
Okay.
If
All right.
you see more yellow or...
Just squish the whole thing down.
Oh, it's getting harder the more I go down.
Okay.
It gets harder.
Interesting. Keep going.
Ooh, that is really hard.
That's because you're hitting the nails and bolts and screws, so be careful. You might puncture the glove. Now we're going to take this over to the sink. Come, follow me. Follow me. We're going to take this over to the sink here, and we're going to do a little bit more in the sink. And you can see the vinegar is in there, but what we're going to do here... No.
I need to wash my hands.
You don't need to wash your hands. You can use your glove unless you want to take it off. Okay, so I want you to push down where there's this around the sides. Push around the sides.
And you can see in that corner it goes up because that's the liquid. So the other corners also have liquid. If I push.
Stop. Now, Jasmine, we're gonna get some samples so that my daughter can look in her microscope. And so she's gonna grab some samples, and then we are gonna go ahead and take a look at some of the bolts and stuff.
That is almost crystal.
Okay, can you give a piece to Jasmine, please? Give a piece to Give a piece. Don't rub it off. Give a piece. You want to get some more or not?
Okay.
Do you want to get some of the different stuff? Like there's some really dark stuff. Okay. Well, I need an answer, otherwise I'm going to ruin this. So
I need the liquid.
Do you want to get any? Look, come here for a minute. Come here.
What?
Come here.
The liquid is in the corner.
You see that dark stuff? Do you want any of that? All right, we'll get a sample right now because pretty soon it's all going to be gone. Okay, get your finger in there. Grab it. Yeah, there we go.
That's the dark stuff you want.
So we're going to get a sample of that darker one as well.
I'm going to cut you.
Okay, we'll dig it. Let me borrow that little scalpel, and we'll try to get you. We'll try to get this. Now you can see some of the metal in there. You want that?
It's a crystal. And the liquid is on the corner. Oh.
Alright, sorry, so keep on forgetting to aim. I'm fairly certain that this is not dangerous because we're just using vinegar, but because of the chemical reactions that have occurred in here, I'm not 100% sure. So, Reggie, you see that metal thing right there? I want you to pull that out. Let's take a look at how much rust there is on it. Go on, pull it out.
Uh-oh. I think it might be stuck. Oh. Got a nail.
Okay, let's put it over here, rinse it off.
Gotta say, got some rust stuff.
Okay, so what we can see here is that despite what I found on the internet saying that a vinegar bath would be a good way to remove rust, as you can see here, there's still a fair amount of rust on this after 2 weeks. So clearly vinegar on its own is not going to get rid of the rust, although it is going to produce that very interesting reaction that resulted in that crusty stuff. And here's another piece that had some rust on it, and I think you can see right there it's still got rust there. It didn't have a lot of rust on it to start with. There was a piece, I don't know if we'll be able to find it here, there was a piece that had paint on it, and the vinegar removed all the paint.
Look at this one. This one
Okay, stop.
has a little bit more rust
so
than all
here.
the others we had. These two didn't have that much rust as this one, but wow.
So vinegar, big failure. How sad, but that's the way it is. So what we're going to do now is we're going to just flush the whole thing with water, which I know isn't. Yeah, you can do that. We're just going to get all that chemical stuff out of there. I did have my hand in it when I did it fresh, a day or two after I had put the vinegar in, and I didn't have any adverse problems. But as you can see, there's a lot of rust coming out of there. Awful lot of rust. That's far more rust than I saw when I put the metal in there. And yeah, this was a failure.
These were the crystals. If you see lighter stuff.
Yeah, there are crystals in here. Like right here. Here's a crystal.
Hey Dad, here's a crystal.
That one's... Alright, so we can see that, there's the piece that had paint on it, I believe. And actually, yeah, this is the piece, and actually not only did the paint come off, but it was ruined by the acid or the vinegar. So 2-week vinegar bath has eaten through this, I think this is cast iron, or something like that, has eaten through and destroyed that. So that's going to end up getting recycled. Put that in the box right there, German, with the other metal. And it looks like a lot of this other stuff has actually gotten worse. Like this had very, very little rust on it when I put it in there. And I don't remember that this had rust on it at all. So for the large part, what's in here, except for maybe this,
has gotten worse.
yeah, a lot of the things that I put in there are worse than when I started on this little experiment. Excuse me. So now you have the 2-week report on the efficacy of a vinegar bath and the effect it has on the metal. So clearly, if you're going to do a vinegar bath, you don't want to do it for as long as we did it. And aside from that, certain materials will be damaged like that one pipe piece that I put in there, and it's ultimately not going to do what you want it to do. You'll have to take sandpaper or something like that to finish the process. So I hope that's been informational for you. Thank you.